turn now to President Biden today, marking 1 million Americans lost to COVID-19. This as health officials warn that the crisis is far from over. Infections are rising across the nation, and a growing number of COVID-positive patients are now entering the hospital. Whit Johnson joins us now from a hospital right here in New York City with that. Good morning, Whit.
Robin, good morning. As President Biden commemorates the extraordinary loss of about 1 million Americans to COVID-19, they are also looking at this in terms of what it means for the future. And a new significant forecast that the CDC uses is showing that in the next 4 weeks, deaths and hospitalizations are again expected to rise. This morning, the U.S. inching closer to that once unthinkable milestone, 1 million Americans lost to COVID. President Biden set to mark the moment today before speaking with world leaders at a virtual summit on the pandemic. This amid growing fears of a summer COVID resurgence. New daily COVID cases in the U.S. more than doubling in the last month. Hospitalizations at their highest levels since mid-March, increasing in at least 34 states and territories.
The average person is getting, milder and milder disease when they get infected. We're still seeing a lot of people in the hospital, a lot of people dying, and we're still at risk of another major wave coming at some point in the future.
And a new ABC News analysis of federal data shows a growing proportion of COVID deaths are from breakthrough infections. In August, fully vaccinated Americans made up nearly 19% of COVID deaths. By February, that number increased to about 40%. And that same month, 25% of deaths were among people who were vaccinated and boosted with their first dose.
It is very likely that all of us who've been vaccinated will have a diminution of the level of protection after a certain number of months, and it is likely that they will be recommended for everyone to get a boost then.
Health experts say the numbers highlight the risk of waning immunity, especially for older and vulnerable Americans who are more than a year out from their primary shots and have yet to receive a booster.
These data should not be interpreted as the vaccine's not working. In fact, it reaffirms the incredible protection that these vaccines are affording, especially when you're up to date with boosters.
Now, on the topic of boosters, the FDA plans to meet next month to discuss whether the composition of future vaccines should be modified. And yesterday, Dr. Anthony Fauci said that we could know by midsummer if and how often more booster shots might be needed. George.
Okay, well, thanks. Let's bring our Chief White House correspondent, Cecilia Vega. And Cecilia, COVID, a main focus of President Biden today.
Yeah, George, exactly. He is calling this a tragic milestone today in our country. We will see him issue a proclamation at some point today commemorating these lives lost. He's also going to order flags to be lowered. And he's addressing, as you guys mentioned earlier, this global COVID summit. These are going to be pre-recorded remarks, though. Let me go back to that statement that he issued this morning. Take a look. The president says, quote, "We must remain vigilant against this pandemic and do everything we can to save as many lives as possible as we have with more testing, vaccines, and treatments than ever before. It is critical that Congress sustain these resources in the coming months." Now, look, the White House has been pushing for more COVID funding. This $10 billion aid package, however, remains stalled right now on Capitol Hill, with billions in Ukraine aid taking priority. And officials here are warning that the U.S. could be looking at another fall and a winter surge. They say securing funding for more targeted vaccines and therapeutics is crucial. But, Michael, while this country this morning is mourning all of these lives lost, the White House morning, these lives lost. The message today from here, anyway, from this president is still going to be get vaccinated and boosted. That is what is going to save lives.
Do whatever it takes, Cecilia. Thank you so much.